Good afternoon, and welcome to Tony Anthony Makin's Reviews. Today I will be reviewing the WWE, the WWE Elimination Chamber 2019. Some of you who are probably subscribers to the channel are probably like, "What the hell is this?" If you clicked on, yeah, I'm doing something different. You may not know I'm a wrestling geek. I watch wrestling every Monday and Tuesday and all the pay-per-view events. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the WWE event that happened last night. Thought it was pretty interesting, to say the least, event. So without further ado, let's talk WWE Elimination Chamber. So, Elimination Chamber started off with the pre-show. I did not see the pre-show. I'm going to go over my notes here, but I did hear Buddy Murphy retain his 205 Live Championship, which he should have. Buddy Murphy has been putting on, and I'm pretty sure the actual match, which I'll probably watch later, was probably amazing. And I really, I guess there's a frustration level with the WWE on how they treat the pre-show. They put great matches like this on the pre-show, and you kind of just, in a sense, it makes no one really care about 205 Live. And they tend to put on really, really good matches. When I want to watch just pure wrestling from the WWE, most of the time I'll actually either watch 205 Live or I'll watch NXT. So, you know, it kind of sucks that some of your best product is placed on the pre-show, which not everyone gets a chance to take a look at. But whatever. I didn't get a chance to look at it just because I didn't get at home in time to see it. But you know, other people know people take that thought that the real matches start after the pre-show. So I don't know, man. I mean, if someone ever comes across this, just you might want to take that in consideration. Of course, you're the WWE. You would never take anything the fans have to say into consideration. But as a loyal supporter, just think about it, you know? Just think about it. I know you've had 205 Live matches on some of the events that have actually been during the event and not the pre-show. But this one probably, from what I'm hearing, should have been on the actual show because there was some matches that could have either just not happened or it could have replaced. And I will get into that. But let's start off with, on a good note, the Women's Elimination Chamber. Women's Elimination Chamber was actually pretty dope. The Women's Elimination Chamber was for the women's tag team titles, which was the crowning of the first women's tag team champions in the WWE. So what we saw was actually pretty good wrestling. You had some very good spots here and there. I mean, you started off with the Boston Hug Connection versus Fire and Desire. So you started off with some vets to the women's division. Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Started off pretty decent. Next in was the Riot Squad, in which, to me, the Riot Squad had a pretty good performance here. To be honest, usually when, you know, most of the good performances from the Riot Squad comes from Ruby Riott. But I'd have to say the other two actually held their own in this match. You had a spot where both of them jumped off the pods during the match, in which they kind of both took a dive off to the sides and landed on, I think it was like Nia Jackson. Someone was standing in one spot, and on the other side was like Tamina and someone else. And they kind of, Sarah Logan just jumps off one side, and boom. And it was a pretty dope spot, which was kind of cool because they made a little noise. They made a little noise in the match, a little bit to where they look like a good legit contender for the titles down the line. I mean, actually, I would say everybody in this match did, except for maybe Naomi and Carmella. And they were actually eliminated first. One, they were just a team that was just put together. Two, there was a lot of rumors surrounding the two of a lot of rumors of I would say, I don't want to call it bad things, but they weren't good things. There was a non-wrestling. Well, I guess I don't know if I would call one non. I don't want to. Well, would it be more specific? From what I heard, the Carmella and Naomi were supposed to last longer in this match, but they did not due to the out of the ring events that occurred in their lives. With Naomi, her and Jimmy Uso had an issue with the law earlier this week. If you want to look into that, you can look into that. It ended up with Jimmy Uso squaring off with a cop, or squaring up, and being arrested. But you also had Carmella had an issue with Corey Graves' wife. Corey Graves' wife accused Carmella of sleeping with Corey Graves. Yeah. So that attention wouldn't have been that attention wouldn't have taken away from the match. I think that's why they decided, you know what, just get them up out of here early, and we won't have to worry about it. I'm pretty sure Corey Graves sat there and had a sigh of relief. But Naomi and Carmella was the first ones. I'm sorry to be laughing at it, but fucked up situation. But Naomi and Carmella was the first ones to exit the Elimination Chamber, and it was kind of weird in a sense because actually I wouldn't say weird. It was kind of dope that people were actually pinning people. Multiple people were holding a person down for the pin. In this case, when Naomi actually had a spot where she squared off with Mandy Rose. You know, they had the little feud going on, so it was kind of cool to see that continuity in the match, and for them to kind of go match up and square off, and you know, it was kind of cool to see that. But it was like as it happened, right away Naomi was pinned. She was pinned by the Iconics, and the Iconics gave her like a double pin, which was pretty fucking cool, ask me. But yeah, it was dope. It was nice. It was nice. It was nice to see. I mean, after that, the Riot Squad, they were eliminated, followed by the Iconics. The Iconics. The one thing about the Iconics is that I really like, and what they played up to in this match, is their characters. Like, it was a spot where they hid inside the they were in the Elimination Chamber. They saw Nia and Tamia jump out of the when Nia and Tamia got out of their pods and came into the match. You saw the Iconics take off and run and go hide back in their original pod, and kind of hid to stay away from Nia and Tamina, because Nia and Tamina came in with straight destruction and rage, and they started clearing the ring, and then they saw the Iconics still back in their pods, and they walked over there to the Iconics and snatched both of them up out of the pod. And it was funny because they kind of slung them and beat them against the cages, which was kind of cool. But the Iconics play up to their role, their villainous heel roles, in which they also know they're smart. They know when to get the hell out of the way, and it's quite comical. They're like comical villains, and they play that role so great that it has to have some type of admiration. for it. I dig it. I love it. And they brought that into the Elimination Chamber. What they may lack in skill, they have. They actually are great performers. If that makes any sense, it should. It should. I mean, at the end of the day, part of wrestling is acting, and they got that down pat. But the Iconics were out after that. You had Tamina and Nia Jax go next, and it was kind of funny. Here comes some of those. Well, actually, let me start off with a great thing. One of Nia Jax running through the pod and breaking straight through the door was amazing. I thought that was beautiful. She completely destroyed the door, and if you're going to get Nia Jax out of the match, in which you still keep her character strong and the irresistible force, you do it that way. I can say that was pretty good, pretty well played. WWE pretty well played, because with Tamina we see we we've come to accept Tamina for who she is. There was a spot where her and Nia both dove from the top to I think it was when they eliminated the Iconics. They both did a diving splash off the top. And, Tamina had it's her athleticism. She lacks a lot of she lacks a lot of athleticism, and so she doesn't really do things that are high flying. But she kind of had she's what, a daughter of Jimmy Snuka, Superfly, and she did a diving. She did a dive from the top rope. I don't even know what to call it, because it kind of like it was like no, the lift she got off that dive was pathetic, to say the least. I love Tamina as far as her trying, but I don't know. Sweetheart got to try a little harder, because that shit was ugh. Yeah, but when Nia Jax ran through the pod and was laid out, that's when everyone took advantage of the four contestants that were left: Boston Hug, Connection, and Fire and Desire, who started off the match and who would end the match. They all took advantage of Tamina being in the ring by herself. Boom, beat her down, and all four ladies pinned her, which I thought was kind of cool too. Like I said, I don't know, it was something different to see. Both people holding her down and pinning. I thought that was pretty cool. So you ended with Boston Hug Connection against Fire and Desire, which could potentially be maybe we can get them as a WrestleMania tag team match. I mean, yeah, we could. That wouldn't be mad at that. I mean, we had some great showings in there. Maybe maybe Nia Jax and Tamina. Maybe Boston Hug Connection will defend against them, because they were the eventual winners. And maybe we'll see that. Maybe we'll see that down the line. Boston Hug Connection versus one of those two teams. One of the two teams that were left: Fire and Desire, and Nia Jax and Tamina. End of the day, I would say Sasha Banks and Bayley were well deserving of the championship win. Like I said, I give this match I have to say this match was great. And reason being, I mean, you had things like I mentioned continuity earlier in the match, but you also had it with Sasha Banks and them still playing on her shoulder injury. She was able to lock in the bank statement in a modified version way by using her leg. So it was kind of cool that they played it up and you was able to see. So all in all, it was actually a pretty fucking good match. As far as entertainment value, and you had great spots in it. Next after that, um, you had Miz and Shane versus the Usos, which I would say I was pretty pleased with the outcome. Um, you got your same old Shane spots that you always get, which I can't. Let me take that back. I won't say I was. I would say I was. I was. I can't say I was completely okay with the outcome. I was okay with the fact that the Usos won the championship, won the tag team titles. Okay with that. That was great. I felt it was better that it was on the Usos and not Miz and Shane. But you had Jimmy Uso hit with the skull crushing finale, and he reversed it and rolled the Miz up. So my biggest issue that I come across here and there is the is finishing moves being watered down. So you get so many people to kick out of finishing moves. You get so many in the WWE. You get so many people to kick out of finishing moves. Uh, you, you get a person who rolls someone up out of a finishing move. So it's almost like the finishing move had no effect at all. You know, I don't I really don't get it. I mean, I feel like if you're gonna lose the match, your finishing move should not be used. Your finishing move shouldn't be used, or if your finishing move is used, maybe you were too injured to actually pin the person, or you after your finishing move you kind of got over to the person a little late. But if you pin someone immediately and then you get rolled up, it's kind of like, buddy, what's I mean, really? You know, it's like it makes no sense. It waters down the finishing move. But like I said, you had your famous Shane spots in there, the coast to coast. You had the elbow from the top rope and onto the announcer's table. So I mean, this is what you get from Shane. You get bumps. You get high flying bumps. I am a person who hates to see Shane McMahon in the room, in the ring. However, every time Shane McMahon is in the ring, he performs. So, as much as I hate to see him there, only because I mean I don't know, I mean, crowning himself the best in the world, putting tag team titles around Shane. I mean, come on. Shane has gray hair now, man. Telling me he's outperforming other better talent on the roster. That we always got to see Shane McMahon, but at the same time, like I said, he's part owner of the company, and he performs. What are you gonna say? Daddy's boy. But like I said, overall, decent match. Didn't last too long. It wasn't like it was drawn out or anything. Decent match. After that, we have Finn Balor versus Leo Rush and Bobby Lashley. And, I mean, we kind of knew what was going to happen here. Finn Balor won by pinning Leo Rush. So Bobby Lashley relinquished the IC title. Finn Balor is now the IC Intercontinental Championship. Intercontinental champion. And I mean, I don't know where we go from here, man, because Bobby Lashley, he power bombs Leo Rush after the match. I don't know if Bobby Lashley goes on about his way now. Leo Rush, what do we do with him? Is this the end of Leo Rush? Is he going to get a 205 push? Um, Finn Balor will now the IC title have some type of meaning? Since it's around Finn Balor, can we do something with Finn to make this IC title mean something? I mean, I was actually hoping that when the superstar shakeup came around, we could get Finn Balor over to SmackDown. Uh, I'd rather see him against some of the talent in SmackDown than that's on the Raw roster. But like I said, it's a superstar shakeup. Maybe someone will be coming over to Raw, or some people will be coming over to Raw to feud with Finn Balor. I mean, you got guys like EC3 that's there right now. You may have more guys that kind of like in that weight class sorta that can give us really really good matches. Because I mean, the bad thing about the worst thing about Raw is there's so many big guys there, and with Vince, you know how he treats big guys as if they're just like they're indestructible. So when a little guy faces a big guy, it's like almost guaranteed the little guy is going to lose. So with that type of booking, I would hate to see Finn Balor just have to face a whole bunch of big guys, in which most of the time he's going to have to win by some type of crazy roll up or something silly, in which you could actually book Finn Balor as a guy who can compete against anyone and win, even without the Demon King moniker. You know what I mean? It's like they always got to. They feel like they got to go to that to help him win. But whatever. But that's something to keep an eye on. Hopefully they play it right. I mean, more than likely. I mean, shit. I wouldn't be surprised if Finn Balor faces Bobby Lashley again tonight for the title. You know how that goes. Up next was the Raw Women's Championship bout. Ruby Riott versus Ronda Rousey. And I hated this match. I hated this match with a passion because, all right, let's get it out the way. I'm not the biggest Ronda Rousey fan. I'm not a fan at all of Ronda Rousey. I can appreciate her work. I think they want the fans to love Ronda Rousey, and they're going about it all the wrong way. This was a squash match. Ronda Rousey beat Ruby Riott. I think I looked at my phone for all of like 15 seconds, and the next thing I know, the match is over. Ruby Riott, just a year ago, had a wonderful match with Charlotte Flair. And now we're putting her in squash matches. I understand you want Ronda Rousey to look like this ultimate fighter, and she can't be beat. That's cool. But at the expense of Ruby Riott, I mean, was it necessary to have this match? Really? I mean, it made Ruby Riott just look like trash. And when you do wrestlers like that, it's hard for them to recover from. And with her being a great talent, I mean, you're killing her. You're killing her. I think with Ronda Rousey, it would have been, I mean, like, armbar is cool. But I think to have Ronda Rousey be more intimidating, more believable as this just killer is not just because she has an MMA background, but maybe more MMA type moves. Like, what if Ronda Rousey just actually gave someone a straight jab and laid them out? You know? Like, what if, give me something like that, a knockout punch maybe here and there, other type of submission holds. It's like we get fireman's carry, or Piper's Pit, armbar, over with. I mean, it doesn't have that Goldberg feel to it, so it's just kind of like we just watching Ronda just beat people, and it depends on the performer to take her to a better match. And but when you book a Ruby Riot to get squashed, in which there was no lead up to this match in general, it just doesn't feel good. I didn't feel anything for this match. It just was there. The aftermath, where you had Charlotte ringside, so after the match was over, Charlotte now know who she will be facing at WrestleMania because she was able to take Becky Lynch's spot. They have a stare down. Becky Lynch comes down in crutches because she was injured by Charlotte at a house show. She shows up in crutches. She beats them both down with crutches. I didn't need it, but the fans were calling for Becky during the whole match, so it was kind of like you got to have Becky show up. I mean, and I know it's eventually to it's there to eventually bring the WrestleMania three-way match about a triple threat match, but it was kind of just there for me. For me, that's me. It was just there for me. So the whole everything, because I like I said, I'm still stuck on Ronda. I think Ronda, like, I know an MMA fighter is supposed to be just boom, the man. Shout out to Becky, but I feel like with Shayna Baszler, they're going the right way about it, and when Shayna Baszler actually comes to the main roster from NXT, like, her getting a major push, if she did immediately, I would be more into it just because I felt like she's put in the work. It's a lot Shayna has done being developed to whereas I know Ronda Rousey's a big name. You can't just throw her in NXT, but you also could have took more time developing her. There was a lot of great talent on the roster that it could have been built. Like, Ember Moon could have held the title for maybe all the way up until TLC. And Ronda could have been going through people. She could have been destroying people all the way up until TLC. And then fought somebody like Ember Moon and taking the title from Ember Moon in a great match. Now you've also, haven't just set Amber Moon on the shelf, you would have had two people who are now legitimate threats on the Raw roster. Instead, it was like, okay, let's hurry up and get this title on Ronda right away. Now she just goes through everyone, even the irresistible Force. Nia Jax looks like a piece of shit next to Ronda, and Ronda's the champion over there. Now we got to hurry up and get these SmackDown people over there to face her, when we could have all this time been building Ember Moon and had a nice rivalry between those two. I'm just saying. But anyway, this next match was just not for me at all either. Braun versus Baron. No DQ match. We kind of knew what was going to happen here. We knew that the Scottish psychopath was going to show up. And he was going to help Baron Corbin out. And I mean, the best thing that came out of this match was just the power bomb. I thought somebody came in the studio. Even though I'm looking different from regular. But the best thing that came out was just the power bomb. They put Braun Strowman through two. Bobby Lashley came out as well, and the Scottish psychopath was out there, and Drew McIntyre, and they helped Baron Corbin defeat Braun Strowman. They put him through two tables, and we saw Baron Corbin versus Braun Strowman for like the 80th, 100th time. I'm tired of it. Does nothing for me. Not even a little bit. Not at all. But It was like so much that could have been there. You could have had, you know what you could have had instead of having that match again? If you're going to put a rematch on, how about Almas versus Mysterio? How about that? That would have been great to see again. How about R-Truth defends the United States Championship? Maybe against Nakamura and Rusev. How about that? How about the Raw Tag Team titles? Could have been we could have had another rematch. They put on a great showing the other Dash and Dawson put on a great showing the other night on Raw. I know we don't do rematch clauses anymore, but you could have had, you could have had them go against AFP or something. But hell, why not introduce Lars Sullivan by having him come help Baron out? Just something different, something that would have been like, oh wow, this is crazy. Because at this point, that match drew so much out of me, and then right after that, there was a random appearance from Lacey Evans that was kind of just like, why? It was a very, very why moment. Okay, weird flex, but okay. There was another weird flex moment, but okay, was when they announced Miz and his wife was having a second baby. I was just like, oh, okay. Weird flex, but okay. I mean, it was certain things in this pay-per-view that at first I was like, oh man, this was a great pay-per-view, and then I reflected and I was like, you know what? I would just say it was better than a lot of the showings that they had, more so towards the it was better than a lot of the B pay-per-views that they had throughout 2018. I'd give it that. Because you had big highlights in this. You had the Women's Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber match. And at the end, you had the men's. And let's talk about that. This was the last match. And there was a few things I didn't like. But overall, it ended beautifully. And it may have set up something in the future, which is going to be great. But let's talk about it. Men's Elimination Chamber, you had Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan to start off things. Kofi came in next. AJ Styles after that, Jeff Hardy, and Randy Orton. Something I didn't like is Samoa Joe. I feel like Samoa Joe is just jobbed out. Come on. Joe is better than this. Maybe they feel like they know Joe will always be loved and supported by the fans. But I just want to see better for Joe. Joe might be he probably is my favorite wrestler on the roster. And I don't feel like y'all show Joe y'all don't give him his just due. He doesn't get the love he should get. He was the first person out of the match. Why? Why put Joe out so early? Huh? I'm upset about that. Why Joe have to be out so early? Huh? When he comes to the ring, we chant his name. Joe is going to kill you. This is how we do, Joe. Joe puts up the best promos. And this is how we do, Joe. The disrespect to Joe will not be tolerated. Do Joe better. Please do Joe better. But after Joe, Jeff Hardy was eliminated. Jeff Hardy, he's at the end of his career. This is where I say, I love Jeff Hardy, but do we really need Jeff Hardy? And I guess we had to have someone we knew who wasn't going to win in the Elimination Chamber, and that was Jeff Hardy. So it was going to be no surprises when he got eliminated. And I guess you always need at least one of those guys in there. I don't know. Eh. However, after he was eliminated, AJ Styles was eliminated. Now, I was surprised by that. I actually thought that we were going to see another Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles in the last two. I kind of thought that's what was going to happen. So to see AJ Styles get RKO'd from the top rope, off the ropes, it was dope. It's pretty dope to see. So maybe we'll have a. That's the second time he's gotten RKO'd by Randy Orton. So maybe we'll have a Randy Orton AJ Styles feud brewing. I could dig that. I dig it. It's good matches. I would see good matches out of that. But after AJ Styles, that's when Randy Orton was eliminated. And he was eliminated by Kofi. Kofi hit him with a Trouble in Paradise. Eliminated Randy Orton. And this is where it was like, yes, let's get it. Let's get it. Kofi and Daniel Bryan. And what I will say is they put on a hell of a performance. At one point in time, I thought Kofi was going to win. I was like, maybe WWE changed it up and said, I was just hoping like maybe they was going to send Eric Rowan out there to the gate and just say, or somebody out to just kind of whisper to Daniel like, listen, hey. Vince said, Kofi, get this one. The fans are rooting for him. They're cheering for him. They want to see Kofi win. Let him get this one. But maybe we don't see him win here. Maybe we see him win at WrestleMania because they put on such a great match. I would love to see Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston again. Daniel Bryan won. Phenomenal heel. Daniel Bryan plays the heel so well. He plays it up so well in ring, everywhere. It's dope. I'm sorry, I'm checking on something. But anyway, it's dope. Plays the heel perfectly. Kofi. Standing ovation. Fans yell, thank you, Kofi, at the end of the match. He was so close. I think it's his time. It's his time. Show that man some love. It's almost funny because Mustafa Ali probably, if he's not injured, gets this spot. And we're looking at Mustafa Ali to be kind of like the guy that's going to be facing Daniel Bryan. Which I'm not big on Mustafa Ali like that, especially when you see that Kofi's put in so much work with the company. He deserves it. Not saying Mustafa doesn't, but you see that he deserves it. So just let him get that. Let him get it. Let him get it. So overall, yeah, decent pay-per-view. I'd say both Elimination Chamber matches were quality. So if you hadn't seen it yet, I'd say check it out. It was both were dope. So, you know. All right. For all those people who came to just see it because it's a WWE review, be on the lookout for Fastlane review. I will be doing a review for Fastlane. Hopefully, I'll be able to go live at that point in time because, I was unable to go live. I still have a strike pending against my my account due to some content issues. They were hating on me. They just hated on me. You know how they do. But shake my hand. Shout out to Jay Black. I do the shake my hand for new people. Got it from the homie Jay Black. But shake my hand. It's been nice talking to you guys, and I'm out.